Hello guys, welcome to Living Room Filmmaker. We just finished our first project, which you probably saw last week. If not, then there is a link in description, so do check that one out. In this episode, I will be doing a high-level breakdown of my process of making the Wednesday promo from my living room. I will of course do dedicated videos on key areas such as chroma keying, making of the hand, and so on in the near future. But now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is my living room studio. I have a nice standing green screen with a tracking marker attached to the top, which is Mookie's handiwork. There's also a green cloth on the floor just to get better coverage. There are two soft lights lighting the green screen, a key light which you can see here to the right to light our actress, and also another film light which can't be seen but is behind this door frame to your left. The magenta light at the back was an attempt to get a better rim light that doesn't blend with the green background. A boom rod would have helped with the placement of this one, but I don't have one, so that's that. My gimbal also had some lights to fill, which I used as I wanted a lot of light on my daughter's face, just in case. The green screener app helped with giving some idea of how the lighting affects my screen, so I could plan the work required in post accordingly. I used a Samsung S20 FE phone for the shoot with the assistance of the powerful Mac Pro 24fps app. I set the desired video output settings as shown on the screen. To shoot in 10-bit, we must choose the H.265 codec. A shutter speed of 1:48, frame rate of 24fps and ISO 200 worked just fine. I chose the Asus CCT Gamma in an Asus AP1 color space, as this will be my input color space transform, and doing this way will save me a step in DaVinci Resolve. Typically you choose a log profile and then convert it to Asus in Resolve, but I wanted to skip that initial conversion step. This is purely an experiment on my part. I don't know if anybody else is doing this way in the mobile filmmaking world. That's it for the settings, let's move on to the filming part. 3, stop, adjust collar, hands down, hands up, and snap. That was one of the rehearsals that we did. It was very interesting and fun to do, but the next day, when my back and my knees made their presence felt. I shot the entire video vertically. As you can see, my phone is vertical all this time. The idea was to try and get maximum resolution by doing this way. Before I could proceed with keying, I needed to first stabilize my footage, and once that's done, I needed to also crop it so it's in HD 1080p and not in vertical 4K. And then I would do some noise reduction and then save that clip out as my Fusion clip. And with that Fusion clip ready, I would then begin my keying process, which would begin with the 3D keyer and also the Delta keyer, and a combination of which would give us a nice solid matte. And then I would work on bringing back the refine the edges and bringing back those hair detail, and the result of which would be a nice matte which would allow us to put our character over any background. More on keying in a future video, so stay tuned. Thing was really fun to do. I used a base mesh that I found on Blender Studio website, which had nice UVs and clean topology all laid out for us, and so all I had to do was rearrange the UVs in UDIM tiles so I get maximum resolution for my textures. And for textures, I just took photographs of my own hand and then projected those after a bit of treatment in Photoshop onto the model. And then I did a bit of sculpting to get some normal details and displacement details, and also those scars. And then it was just about painting those additional details. And once that was done, the model was ready with the clean topology and everything is ready for rigging, which I use Rigify to achieve. So it's a weird hybrid kind of rig that I will do another video explaining how I was able to do it. And then it's just a case of animating it, and there's this another separate video on animation. It's quite a detailed process. I might even share this asset on Gumroad or somewhere and let you guys know. Once all of the clips are ready to render, it's just a case of rendering them out with a high bitrate and bring those MOV files into a new project and bringing it all together with the titles, logos, and so on. Overall, this was a really fun project to do, and I hope you really enjoyed my process. And for all those pros out there, if you have any pointers for me, please don't hold back, because I want to learn as much as I can and then apply it to future videos. So until next time, it's goodbye from me.
The best part was dressing up like Wednesday because when I looked in the mirror, my hair and makeup looked just like Wednesday, and it was a great experience. Worst part was...
Ask me that question. The living room was a mess, the green screen was an eyesore, and your...
Telugu Mahesh Babu. Hindi में करीना कपूर, Shah Rukh Khan और Hrithik Roshan. In English, I like Jenna Ortega, obviously, because she's a really good actress on Wednesday, and I'm a really huge fan. We're going to do some other Wednesday shooting. My dad was also talking about Last of Us. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure I'm going to have loads of fun.